Have you ever wondered why two champions drop their gloves but throw shade instead of punches? Have you ever asked yourself if boxing has become less about skill and more about stacking dollar bills? When Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather decided to have a light sparring session, early signs suggested that Floyd might end up nursing more bruises than bragging rights. The two boxing legends met at Manny's training camp in Las Vegas. Stepping onto the treadmill of hype with cameras rolling, Pacquiao made sure to bring intensity disguised as friendliness, forcing Floyd into defensive maneuvers that left fans buzzing. Pacquiao's camp looked like a who's who of celebrities turned sweat-soaked apprentices, with athletes like Cam Binham trading drills with the Filipino icon. The energy crackled as Floyd matched punches with footwork, but the underlying tension hinted at unresolved history.
Take six, take this, haters.
You could almost taste the rivalry in the air when they moved into the gym for what was supposed to be a casual session. Manny, determined to showcase he still had the fire of youth despite years in the ring, launched a swift series of jabs that cornered Floyd against the ropes. Those rib-cracking punches forced Floyd to signal a halt, and for a moment, it seemed like the old guard was giving way to a new era. First aid was administered right in the center of the ring, amplifying whispers that Manny achieved some form of unofficial payback for their infamous 2015 showdown. Clips of the incident went viral, with fans speculating that Manny would absolutely steamroll Floyd in any exhibition.
I just want to say this to the world. Now, it's amazing how a fighter can come from, I think, 108 all the way to 154.
Yet, among the digital applause for Pacquiao's display, one voice rose above the fray: Floyd Mayweather's. Instead of praising strength or celebrating a legend's resilience, Floyd slung a verbal uppercut. He labeled Pacquiao's upcoming exhibition with Mario Barrios as nothing more than a cash grab masquerading as a legacy fight. Floyd's accusation hit harder than any punch, aiming straight at the heart of boxing's most sacred notion: honor. In his view, Pacquiao's return was less about rekindling past glory and more about filling contractual coffers. Floyd's words didn't just sting. They unleashed a wave of laughter and skepticism across social media platforms.
And knock out all these guys. To me, it's amazing. I guess he's just blessed.
Floyd's skepticism wasn't entirely unfounded when you consider how boxing has evolved into a spectacle of spectacle. Mega fights today hinge on pay-per-view buys, social media buzz, and streaming contracts. Fighters often stage comeback bouts or celebrity matchups solely to monetize nostalgia. Pacquiao, at 46, stepping up to face a 28-year-old champion, naturally invites questions about motive. Is he battling to cement his legacy or simply padding his bank account? Floyd thinks it's the latter, and his remarks echo a sentiment that permeates old-school boxing circles. The notion of boxing as pure sport has gradually given way to business-first models. From promotional rights to broadcast deals, every punch thrown seems calculated for maximum return on investment. Pacquiao's team insists his heart still beats for competition, but Floyd sees a familiar pattern. He pointed out how aging legends often dip their gloves back into the ring, leveraging their names while their feet drift further from their prime. This strategy tests loyal fans' affections against their wallets. An exhibition match, Floyd argued, doesn't offer real results, just inflated ticket sales.
How much of this comeback is about money, if at all?
No, the comeback, the reason why I come back is because I miss boxing.
Floyd's disdain for paydays overshadowing pure athleticism isn't new. Throughout his undefeated career, he emphasized fiscal wisdom over flashy showdowns. He professed that boxing should celebrate skill, courage, and dedication. When Pacquiao agreed to face Barrios, Floyd publicly declared it a show of desperation. He ridiculed the idea that any champion would risk credibility for a payday. His comments carried the weight of a man who knew both the glamour and grime of high-stakes brawls. Floyd exposed how easily legacy can be bought and sold.
And I want to be a champion again. and I can still that. In my heart, in my mind, I can still be a champion.
Pacquiao's training narrative adds fuel to Floyd's fire. Since losing his 2021 match to Yordenis Ugas, Manny has meticulously sculpted his body in the wildcard gym under Freddie Roach's watchful eye. Videos show him hitting mitts with the same fierce precision that defined his prime. He runs hills in Los Angeles, and yoga stretches maintain his flexibility. Yet, fans can't help but wonder if those clips serve as marketing collateral rather than genuine proof of readiness. Are those heart-pounding workouts real, or merely Instagram bait to boost pay-per-view subscriptions? Floyd's jab labeled Pacquiao's conditioning as a Hollywood production, accusing his former rival of staging scenes for social media likes. He contended that no amount of footage could mask the reality that age inevitably saps speed and reflexes. Floyd recalled his last months as a champion, how he retreated from the glare to train in private, away from cameras seeking sensational snaps. He emphasized that a true fighter's grind goes unseen by millions. It dwells in isolation, in the painful repetition of basic drills. To Floyd, Pacquiao's public routines reeked more of promotion than preparation.
Have Pacquiao been knocked out twice? Answer the question.
Yeah, when he was like 112
Just
pounds.
answer the question.
Because he turned
Yes
pro
or
when he
no?
was a teenager.
Beyond the spectacle of sparring and training footage, Floyd turned his attention to Barrios himself. Mario El Azteca Barrios, with a record boasting 29 wins and 10 knockouts, stands as Pacquiao's next challenge. At 30 years old, Barrios represents youthful vigor and ambition. Floyd quipped that Barrios would be stepping into the ring with a man whose punch probably felt like a gentle breeze compared to the storms of his past. He predicted the fight would end in predictable fashion, a comfortable win for Barrios, followed by a hoopla-filled pay-per-view finale. Floyd's mockery cut deep. It's not a test of skill anymore, it's a carnival. Even as Floyd hurled these critiques, boxing pundits debated whether his cynicism stemmed from jealousy or principle. Some argued that Floyd had every right to question motives. After all, he understood better than anyone how glory can be commodified. His boxing IQ, though retired in the ring, still ranked high on the marquee. Others responded that Pacquiao's legacy afforded him the freedom to fight if he chose. They pointed out that fans wanted to see their hero dance in lofty footwork one more time, even if just for exhibition. In their eyes, Pacquiao's aura of respect eclipsed any financial motives.
I don't care if it's 100 years ago. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Have Pacquiao been outboxed by Eric Morales?
What, one fight he lost to him,
Answer the question.
Yes, he did.
Has he been outboxed by Eric Morales?
Yes.
Amid the swirling opinions, Pacquiao remained silent regarding Floyd's barbs. He let his team handle press conferences while he focused on passing every conditioning test. His camp arranged high-altitude runs in the Sierra Nevada foothills, followed by dunking into ice baths. They invited boxing icons to spar as training partners, ensuring no stone remained unturned. Despite Floyd labeling it a joke, every media clip painted Pacquiao as a warrior determined to silence doubters like Floyd himself. The silent warrior image resonated with fans who saw Pacquiao's humility as the antithesis of Floyd's brashness. On fight night, the arena pulsed with electric anticipation. Ringside commentators speculated whether Pacquiao's lightning-quick combinations could still leave an impression on Barrios. Yet, a louder question filled the air. Would Pacquiao's performance vindicate him or validate Floyd's skepticism? Each round held the promise of nostalgia clashing with reality. As Barrios landed a jarring left hook, the crowd gasped, and some whispered that Floyd's words might become prophecy. But when Pacquiao responded with a crisp counter, cheers erupted. In those moments, boxing felt less transactional and more timeless.
That's all I need to know.
So why would you
I wanna ask you
fight
another
him?
question.
So why not fight him right away?
Now I want to ask
if
you
he's
another
that
question.
easy.
Now I want to ask you another question.
Go ahead.
Who's beat me?
Nobody's beaten you yet.
That's all I
Floyd.
want to know.
In between rounds, viewers saw replays of past glories. Pacquiao knocking out Ricky Hatton, the thrill of his 2011 flurry against Juan Manuel Marquez. These highlights reminded everyone what made Manny special: unrelenting heart and fearless aggression. Yet Floyd's comments echoed through modern discussion threads. Exhibition? Money grab? Legacy sold for dollars? Some fans defended Pacquiao, arguing that every athlete deserves a victory lap. Others agreed with Floyd, seeing the spectacle as a last-minute cash-in. In this tug of war, the fight transcended the ropes. It became a battleground for boxing's soul. Floyd's skepticism reflected a broader argument. Does an aging warrior stepping back into the limelight help or harm boxing's integrity? Traditionalists lamented the commercialization of every comeback tour. They remembered an era where a fighter's word and honor dictated matchups rather than paydays. Boxing used to be about courage and discipline, an old-school trainer mused. Now it's about viral clips and streaming numbers. Floyd parroted that sentiment, insisting that any return must pass the purity test. He drew a clear line: real fights, not staged exhibitions. Still, financial realities loomed large. Pacquiao's promoter calculated that a PPV price tag of $99 could translate to tens of millions in revenue. Pay-per-view buys would rival major golf tournaments and MMA crossovers. Sponsorship deals peppered every camera shot, ensuring logos burned into viewers' memories. The undercard stacked up stylized bouts aimed at a younger audience thirsty for spectacle. The entire production felt like a Hollywood blockbuster, replete with musical intros and pyrotechnics. Floyd warned that boxing risked becoming WWE without grappling, trading authenticity for theatrics. Yet, fans soaked it up. Social media exploded with memes contrasting Pacquiao's humble demeanor against Floyd's glittering fleet of luxury cars. Fitness influencers posted their own training montages, claiming to replicate Pacquiao's regimen. Betting lines moved faster than lightning, with odds makers shifting odds based on every social media trend. The fight transcended sports. It invaded pop culture as a staged event. Floyd's critiques became part of the marketing machine, controversy fueling buzz. In effect, his condemnation only magnified buzz, driving more eyes to screens.
July 19th, what is going to happen?
July 19th is going to be a good fight between Mario Barrios. It's going to be a lot of action, and I'm sure, guarantee that the fans will be happy.
As Pacquiao entered the ring, the energy hit fever pitch. The roar was deafening, drowning out any whispers of cynicism. He moved with surprising agility, offering a reminder that legacy extends beyond mere dollars. Even so, Floyd's voice reverberated in viewers' minds. What's the point of risking health for nostalgia? When does it end? These questions haunted the spectacle, blending excitement with introspection. Fans celebrated moments of brilliance while simultaneously asking if the fight was a genuine contest or a scripted show. Round by round, Pacquiao landed glancing blows that showed glimpses of brilliance. Barrios absorbed punches that would floor lesser men, yet Floyd's words stung louder than any right cross. That's not boxing, that's showmanship. He insisted that a real champion never sought comebacks in exhibition form. He claimed that real greatness lives in retirement, safe from foolish risks. But the audience disagreed, hungry for drama regardless of purity. They cheered each flurry, each nimble dodge, because in those minutes, they felt alive. Spectators debate whether Pacquiao's performance truly validated his return. Some credited his ring IQ, citing how he slipped jabs with seasoned precision. They argued that Floyd's skepticism dismissed the warrior's resilience. Others contended that while Pacquiao moved well, he lacked the explosiveness that defined his prime. They pointed to slow transitions between combinations, evidence that years take their toll. In this ongoing debate, Floyd's barbs served as counterbalance, an anchor dragging certainty into murky waters.
Legend Manny Pacquiao has offered a brutal warning to Mario Barrios and promised to deliver a fight that the fans will not forget.
Beyond the ring, Pacquiao's camp waved off Floyd's remarks as sour grapes. They suggested that Floyd's own retirement from high-profile bouts proved his reluctance to risk legacy. They pointed out that Floyd's most recent exhibition against Logan Paul earned him millions in under 10 minutes. To some, that hypocritical comparison undercut his moral high ground. Yet Floyd doubled down, insisting that exhibitions against unproven influencers aren't real boxing. He asserted that mixing sport with entertainment dilutes respect for fighters who earn accolades the hard way. Meanwhile, social media split into fervent battalions. Traditionalists praised Floyd's candor, naming him guardian of boxing's old-school values. They applauded his refusal to glamorize spectacle at the expense of athletic honor. Conversely, modernists blasted Floyd for anachronistic thinking. They argued that sports evolve and that paydays enable fighters to secure financial futures long after sleepless training camps end. Some highlighted how pay-per-view revenue funds youth programs, gyms, and grassroots boxing initiatives. They saw Pacific tours as opportunities to inspire a new generation. Still, Floyd remained unmoved by either side. His stance etched a line in boxing's sands. Either you fight for honor or you fight for commerce. He refused to straddle both. Critics labeled him rigid, a relic from a bygone era. Supporters hailed him as principled, safeguarding boxing's soul. Regardless, his commentary dominated interviews, talk shows, and podcasts. Every analyst dissected his words, debating their impact on boxing's trajectory. Whether he swayed opinions or not, Floyd shaped the narrative.
Meanwhile, boxing analysts have weighed in on the intense matchup, and most of them have trashed Pacquiao for coming back to the ring and cutting the line.
In the aftermath of Pacquiao's bout, ranking boards and pundits re-evaluated him. Some elevated his status, citing how he hung in there against Barrios' prime. Others demoted him, pointing out that he trailed on scorecards before Barrios slowed down to show mercy. They argued that if Pacquiao aimed for a comeback, he needed decisive victories rather than nostalgic scraps. Floyd scoffed at these discussions, claiming they missed the point. He argued that the entire spectacle felt hollow, if not rooted in genuine competition. Instead, he saw it as a flashy carnival. Unbeknownst to many fans, Floyd's words carried weight beyond boxing circles. Promoters recalibrated future matchups, wary of investing in exhibitions that could be labeled cash grabs. Television networks fluctuated on broadcast rights, debating whether to pay premium for high-dollar events that might lack credibility. Sponsors measured brand association risks when events leaned too heavily on nostalgia rather than high-stakes competition. Even boxing commissions convened to discuss regulation around exhibition bouts, wary of misleading the public. Every stakeholder felt the ripple from Floyd's criticisms. Amid this turmoil, a new set of questions emerged. Is boxing best served by preserving its purity or by embracing entertainment dollars? Does a champion's comeback validate his legacy or tarnish it with greed? Should fighters owe anyone a debt of honor after decades of thrilling audiences? Or is the modern athlete free to monetize every remaining moment of fame? These dilemmas illuminate boxing's crossroads. Floyd insists on tradition, while millions demand spectacle. Pacquiao's journey embodies this tension between legacy and ledger.
Including Floyd Mayweather's relative Jeff Mayweather. Jeff expressed shock at Pacquiao's comeback, especially after his loss to Yordenis Ugas and narrow win against Keith Thurman.
In private moments, Pacquiao's inner circle mused about Floyd's intentions. They acknowledged that Floyd's opinions might stem partly from envy. After all, Pacquiao's global appeal still eclipsed Floyd's reach in certain markets. They recognize that boxing fans often idolize resilience over retirement, valuing heroic comebacks. That narrative relishes the underdog spirit, cheering legends who defy age. But they also admitted that Floyd's cynicism might hold truth. They worried about boxing's reputation slipping into a sideshow. Meanwhile, Floyd's own plans simmered beneath the surface. His post-fight career involved producing documentaries, training young prospects, and advising up-and-coming fighters. He wanted to shape boxing's future beyond his fights. In many ways, his critiques of Pacquiao aligned with his broader mission, preserving boxing's integrity for future generations. He believed that highlighting pitfalls of paydays would deter anyone from diluting the sport. His words, harsh as they felt to some, functioned as cautionary tales, urging fighters to avoid traps that threatened legacy. As days turned into weeks, boxing's discourse rippled outward into broader sports culture. Pundits leveraged the Pacquiao-Barrios debate as a springboard for discussions about aging athletes in football, basketball, and tennis. They drew parallels to veterans chasing final contracts even as skills faded. Critics used Floyd's scorn to question whether loyalty to a sport should surrender to financial imperatives. Meanwhile, marketing executives studied the spectacle's consumer data, measuring audience engagement for future investment. Polls asked fans if they felt exploited by pay-per-view prices, and sports fans examined their own desire for nostalgia versus integrity.
While he wasn't certain whether Pacquiao needed the money, he believed the motivation might be more personal.
After the Ugas loss and the narrow win against Thurman, that Manny, he's back. Like, does it sort of shock you a bit, Jeff?
It's shocking, and to be honest, it's unfair to guys who have fought to try to rise up to the ranks.
The saga culminated in an unofficial consensus. Boxing exists at a nexus of tradition and commerce. Fighters earn respect through courage, sacrifice, and skill. Yet promoters, networks, and influencers increasingly hinge success on eyeballs and clicks. In this environment, Pacquiao's return against Barrios served as a microcosm. It exemplified both boxing's enduring romance and its growing commodification. Floyd named names, pointed fingers, and refused to sugarcoat the landscape. He reminded the world that behind every flashy bout lies a ledger, pages filled with projected earnings, sponsorship deals, and revenue projections. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button for more no-holds-barred commentary. Smash the like if you believe boxing needs its soul back. Drop a comment below and tell us, would you pay to see another comeback or keep legends resting on their laurels?